Chapter 3. Around midday, a group of patrons entered the Cosmic Garden. The restaurant's ornate decorations hinted at just how expensive this outing was going to be. The dining party paid no mind to the opulence around them. They had only eyes for the two people at the center of the group, a pair of elderly Levakians. Levakians are feline mammalians, lion-like in their size, shape, and detriment. The two old lions snarled at a young Partogan following them. He was carrying a black briefcase. At their command, he drew closer and received instructions from one of them. He gave the briefcase to the other Levakian and departed. At the same time, one of the employees guided the Levakian entourage to their table. Mina Sobanre glided around the Cosmic Garden with a special kind of grace. She felt very comfortable in her waitress uniform, a sleek blue dress with fancy elbow-length gloves, and she felt at ease despite the presence of a dozen massive lions. She knew there were Higaran Marines in the building, dressed up as waitstaff. If a problem arose, she was perfectly safe. The young Partogan, dismissed by the Levakians, walked past Mina on his way to the front entrance before turning around and standing by the door. Mina kept moving, making sure to continue observing him as she waited on other tables. She could tell he was waiting for a signal from the Levakian patrons. Walking around a pillar, Mina made eye contact with one of the busboys. His uniform just barely covered the bright red colors of Kith Soban tattooed on his arms. The Gauss pistol in his vest was even more poorly concealed. "Tighten yourself up," Mina whispered as she walked by. "We've got a situation." After a few minutes, the signal came. One of the Levakian patrons vigorously shook his mane. Moving swiftly, the Partogan approached the table and took the briefcase away. He was heading for the exit. By then, Mina and the other Higarans had already acted. In a matter of moments, someone found the car used by the Levakians. Inside, the Higarans found a second identical briefcase and rifled through its contents. A frantic, last-second decision was made, and less than a minute after the whole thing started, Mina was moving quickly into the kitchen, stuffing a single piece of paper down the front of her dress. The Partogan opened the car, switched briefcases, and then returned to the dining table, never knowing the second case had been pilfered. These are construction schematics. Mina and her handler huddled together in the far corner of the kitchen, looking over the single piece of paper recovered from the Levakian's briefcase. Mina's handler was a big Higaran man covered from head to foot in tattoos, nearly all of which were variations of the Kith Nabal emblem. His name was Dasra Nabal Sa. He tapped the paper and continued. "It looks like the Higarans and Levakians are planning to construct an emporium at Tri-Point Park." Mina knew what Tri-Point Park was. It was a landmark in the heart of the city, where the embassies of Earth, Araki, and Higara were constructed close together in a triangular formation. In the open space between the three embassies, there was a municipal garden, divided into 3 sections. This garden, divided 3 ways with each slice facing an embassy, symbolically resembled the tri-point border between the Higaran Empire, Partogan Levakian Commonwealth, and United Nations of Earth. Mina looked at the schematics again and realized her handler was right. The Commonwealth was planning to expand their own embassy, adding a shopping center to the structure, where Rotorua residents would be able to get a genuine taste of life on the planet Araki. This is some kind of propaganda push by the Commonwealth, I'm sure of it, Dasra said. "Mina, I want you to take this to the public hyperwave terminal down the street and give it to our point man. He'll take it from there." Mina put on a coat and departed the Cosmic Garden. Behind her, the Levakians were getting angry and raising their voices at one another. Just before the door closed behind her, Mina heard someone roar, "And you call yourself a professional? There are pages missing! What kind of cut-rate operation is this?" Mina walked briskly out of the red light district, but did not take a direct route to the public hyperwave terminal. Instead, she skirted the perimeter of the smuggler's port, walking around the illegal structure. Several shipbreakers saw her from their perches on top of dismantled starships. Mina smiled to herself as she started to receive catcalls from Ashurians, Kelt, Amadi, Vanians, Skildari, Vor, Blorg, Morbizak, Tidani, Vagar, Hegarans, Partogans, and humans. One voice caught Mina's attention. "Don't let me catch you walking this way again," a Partogan shouted. "I won't be responsible for what I do." At the same moment he spoke, someone aimed a green laser pointer into a nearby alleyway. Mina dropped off the stolen schematic at the hyperwave terminal. The Hegaran man waiting for her was another member of the military counterintelligence service, and the handoff occurred wordlessly. Then she turned around and walked back the way she came. This time, instead of walking by the smuggler's port, Mina ducked into the narrow alley adjacent to it. As she walked, Mina kept one hand in her coat pocket, clenched around a laser pistol. She strained her ears, listening to the echo of the city around her. A Blorg shuffled around the corner and onto the next road. A shuttle flew overhead. A Vanian unfurled his wings and took flight from a rooftop. Someone stepped in a puddle behind her. Mina whirled around, drawing her laser pistol. There was a Partogan behind her, halfway through drawing his own weapon, a plasma submachine gun. Mina recognized Kiri, and Kiri recognized Mina. They both returned their weapons to their hiding places, and then looked around to make sure they were alone. Once she was sure the alley was deserted, Mina said, I can't believe nobody's ever told you this, but there are no women anywhere in the galaxy who think Ambush Alley is a good place for a date. The atmosphere's just not romantic, you know? It's sentimental for me, Kiri replied. This is the place where we first met.